Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. The price of XRP is dropping like a rock, and everything is on fire. Basically, the entire crypto market. XRP at $2.03 at the time that I'm recording this, which, by the way, is 6:20 a.m. Central Time, Friday, December 20th, 2024. So this is the second day in a row of morning dumps here. But XRP got as low as $1.97 as of the time that I'm recording this. A number of analysts think that there's a reasonable chance it's going to go a fair bit lower. Of course, it's dependent upon Bitcoin leading the way on down. Bitcoin, it's falling precipitously as well, currently at $92,805. So we'll see where this thing bottoms out. Eventually, markets do find bottoms. We are still in a bull run, so ultimately, although I understand, obviously, this is terrifying tons of people, you can ask me if I'm scared, and the answer is no. I am not remotely scared, and I will articulate many reasons why, and I will highlight the degree to which this is normal, and reaffirm some of the things that I shared yesterday, because I bet even if my soothing tones and the reasonable things that I said, all of the logic that I conveyed to you yesterday morning, even if that made you feel better, I'm willing to bet that a lot of you are scared yet again because it happened the next day. Stop getting it in the feels. It's okay. Like, we are in a bull market here. And also, I'll say this before really getting into a bunch of the stuff that I got pulled up to share with you here. And this is the overarching idea as to why it doesn't make sense to be fearful here. So let's say that what is close to a worst case scenario is true, and that we're actually heading into a bull market, which I do not believe for a second, right? And none of the analysts that I'm following think that that's the case, just to be clear. But even if it were the case, markets rebound. So since I don't need the money I've invested into crypto now, then I'll wait till the next market cycle, even if that means years. I'm still going to have the same amount of crypto that I hold. In fact, in the bear market, I just buy more, so I don't care. It doesn't matter. I win by just waiting. That's how markets work. So don't get too emotionally distraught over stuff like this. It doesn't matter, and you have to expect that markets are going to do this. Crypto has been doing this for straight up on about 16 years at this point. And you can look at all the price charts going back 16 years. For Bitcoin in this case, and then there's all the altcoins, however long they've lived, XRP over a decade. You can look at any coin you want to, and what you will find is that what's happening now, even in bear market or bull markets rather, is normal. You should absolutely, it would be bizarre if this didn't happen at times. So everybody need to chill a little bit. So a little over 2 hours ago, I shared this post, and the price of XRP was slightly higher at that point. It was $2.15. I shared this at 4:08 a.m. Central Time. I wrote, as someone who has been holding XRP for over 7 years, while the price has been well under $1 for almost 100% of that time, and having never sold a single XRP ever, I must say, I find it amusing that people are freaking out that XRP dropped to $2.15, with the keyword being dropped there. Bitch, it was 49 cents 6 weeks ago. Have some perspective. And so all I can do is chuckle. Like, I'm not happy that, I'm not like basking in the fact that, and I'm not joyful the fact that there are so many people that are distraught today, but it is silly, and it's up to you to, make sense of what's going on in the world. But I think you arm yourself with, historical knowledge about how crypto performs and how volatile it is. This entire asset class, XRP, Bitcoin, pick your coin, doesn't matter. I think if you're just armed with that knowledge and then pay attention to reputable chart analysts, then you can I think you'll find it a lot easier to moderate the emotions. But when it comes to investing, you are your own worst enemy. So whatever you want to do, whether it's buy or sell or hold, it doesn't matter to me. I don't know what's best for you specifically. Just don't use emotions to make that decision. And, and I will say, like, if you are a person that invested money that you really need in the short term, I can understand why you're stressed out, if you're one of those people. But that's why you do whatever you want. To me, that's a terrible idea. I will never invest money that I need in the short term. I would never do that. I invest spare money that I have. I've been consistently doing this for 7 years, and trended upwards as you would expect. This asset class, imagine this asset class a decade from now. It's going to be way bigger than it is now. Do you think XRP is going to exist? Do you think that because this price dip just happened? So XRP's been around over a decade, but this is it. It hit the recent high. It wasn't even an all-time high, around $2.90, and now it's tanking down. It got down to $1.97. And so even though it's made it through the lawsuit and everything else, and there's more developers than ever, bigger community than ever, bigger crypto adoption on a global scale than ever, but this is it. It's over. It was a nice run, but this is the moment where this is the for real run, and now it goes to zero. Now it's over, right? Is your mind doing that to you? Because stop it. Like, that's not what's actually happening here. Of course not. Dips are normal. In fact, yesterday in a video, I highlighted this. This is from Yahoo Finance. This is an article from a few years ago, but they're referencing 2017. This is from an analyst called Rect Capital, and he wrote, in part, in 2017, Bitcoin had 12 dips between 10% and 25%, 25% deep, and 6 major corrections, 30% to 40% deep. So, folks, this stuff is normal. And that was actually, in fact, we haven't even had something that bad on average anyway. Take a look at this post. This is from just before I started recording. This is at 5:57 a.m. Central Time this morning. This is from chart analyst Jelly. And this is, I'm not going to read all the price declines going back the last couple cycles, so it's worth looking at your screen if you're not driving or something like that. Be safe out there. Hands on the wheels at 10 and 2, motorists. But here you can see the current market cycle that we're in, and the one before that in 2020 and 2021, and the one before that, 2016 and 2017. And you can see, look at all these pullbacks. Tons of them. Then you can see even last market cycle, there were, what, like, five here, and then so now he's charted 5 notable pullbacks of over 20% for this market cycle. Okay, well, that's fine. It didn't mean that the party was over. We haven't even had our proper alt season yet. So no, and so you can see for the 2016-2017 bull market, the average pullback was 32%. For last market cycle, 2020 through 2021, the average pullback was 24%. So think about, just please let this soak in. This is normal. And when something that is normal and you should expect to happen does then happen, it doesn't mean freak out. It means you should be like, oh yeah, I knew that thing would happen because it happens every time and it would be weird if it didn't. Like, that's the attitude you should have about this. And then there's this cycle, 2023 through 2024, average pullback so far, 23%. So it's pretty similar to last cycle. And of course, the pullbacks from cycle to cycle, you would expect them to overall trend downwards, because markets will become less volatile the more participants are in them. And it's easy to understand why. Like, imagine if somebody put down a $20 bill on the table. If you want to double that, any human could walk up, take a $20 bill out of the wallet, and then it's double. Okay, but now imagine that there's this ecosystem where like 7 billion people have done that. Well, it's going to be harder to get that to double, right? Well, that means lower volatility. It's the same concept when it comes to more money flowing into the crypto asset class. So it's not that one cycle can't have a greater average pullback than a previous cycle. It's that it would trend down. That's what I'm saying. If you look at a ton of cycles over a span of many decades, once we're there. There's also this post from chart analyst Crypto Michael. The guys that have been here a while, they get it. And this is one of the guys that called the XRP pump in November, by the way. He says, I love bull market dumps. The strongest pumps follow soon after. While you're crying, whales are buying. And oh yes, let's talk about this. So I highlighted in a video yesterday morning that that whales were actually purchasing the dip from over a day ago. And before I even knew that, in one of my videos, I've said, hey guys, I hadn't checked to see the data on whale activity, but I said, given that there's a notable pullback here, I wouldn't be surprised. In fact, I'd expect that whales probably are buying the dip, because that's what they do, because we're not at the peak. We're not at the peak of a market cycle. We're not in the depths of it. Like, we're not falling out. Like, we're not at the moment where it would make sense to behave any differently from a historical perspective. You get to the point where fine, as you're approaching the market peak, yes, you will see whales go into distribution, which means that they're selling. And yeah, we're going to see that. But we're nowhere near the levels of that would, from a historical perspective, indicate that like the end is like, this is the end. Like, that's certainly not true. But here you can see this post, and this is from yesterday. So think about this. As everybody's freaking out yesterday morning, the whales were purchasing yesterday. Look at this. From chart analyst Ali Martinez, 9:54 a.m. Central Time yesterday, whales bought another 110 million XRP in the last 24 hours. Now, I'll hazard another guess here. I haven't checked the whale data for today. I'm sure that there's going to be all sorts of analysts, including chart analyst Ali Martinez. I bet that he's probably going to provide an update too. And I will not be surprised if it's the case that more whales are purchasing this dip because it was more notable. I'm just telling you, like, whales don't get wrong-footed. So it doesn't mean, and they know that they're not literally buying the perfect bottom, because nobody can do that. Even the whales can't. And I think that they're certainly more savvy when it comes to investing, broadly speaking. But even they understand they can't literally buy the bottom. That's not how this works. So the fact that some bought yesterday and then it went down lower, that doesn't mean whales are getting wrong-footed. They're expecting the market to go way higher before this thing finally ultimately hits a peak and implodes. And I believe they're right. And historically, they always have been. So it's when they quit doing this, that's when it's time to be a bit more concerned. But yeah, absolutely. And it's not just XRP. Bitcoin leading the market here. Look at this. This is from yesterday afternoon, 12:27 p.m. Central Time. For Bitcoin, whales bought over $1 billion worth of Bitcoin during the recent market dip. Okay, and so you don't necessarily, even if you're a whale, know for sure exactly where the bottom is. So fine, we have another bloody day here, but markets find bottoms. They do not believe that this is over, and this is not how they behave if everything's over. Historically, it's just not the case. Here's a post from chart analyst Greg Crypto from this morning at 4:29 a.m. Central Time. So about 2 hours ago. XRP USD chart, and he said, XRP noise. TA perspective, just noise. From technical analysis standpoint, all this saga is simply noise. XRP is currently retesting the December 10th low of $1.90, which could set up a double bottom formation. Macro range behavior. This is another segment he's talking about. This formation is part of a macro range similar to the previous range of 50 cents to $1. The only difference now is it's happening within the $2 to $2.90 price range. Same behavior, just different price levels. Folks, please let that sink in. Think about that. Just as we had that range, and that was the normal range for XRP at that time, which was not long ago, now we're in a different range. And it doesn't mean it can't drop lower. Like there are analysts that think maybe XRP even in the short term goes to $1.60. I've seen some very pro XRP analysts warn that it's possible at least, but even they say, okay, if that happens though, we're still going to have a crazy blow off top for this alt season. It doesn't matter. It's normal volatility, and it scares people, shakes the lettuce hands out of their positions here. But anyway, just like there was that range, like he's citing here, 50 cents to roughly $1. Okay, so roughly $2 to $2.90. Okay, so roughly around there now. Okay, so what? Like it doesn't change any. Either we're right and XRP one day hits a new all-time high, or we're wrong and it goes to zero. What has fundamentally changed with this selling? Literally nothing is the answer. Literally nothing. It's speculators speculating based on emotion. These are the people that get wrecked and don't get life-changing wealth, the people that behave like this. The people who are patient and control their emotions, those are the people that have the opportunity for life-changing wealth. And not to oversimplify, but those are some very key things. It's basically just having broad exposure, controlling your emotions. It's the same thing, and I will continue to put these videos out as long as the market's dumping to soothe your weary soul. Because I know you can't just hear it once. It's true for anybody. Like, you can't just hear this once and then you just, oh, okay, that's it. I never need to hear that again, and I'm just going to not emotionally respond. No, we're all human. I get that. But that's why I'm doing this. Like, repetition is useful here. You need to hear this on days like this. And it's true. Like, this is true. It makes sense to not be afraid here. There's this post from chart analyst Leb Crypto, and he wrote, for XRP, $1.96 bounce expected here. And he posted that at 5:42 a.m. So, he could be right. I don't know. He seems to be pretty optimistic that we've already seen the low. I don't pretend to know whether or not that is true. But either way, let me just show you more examples of people who have been in the space for a very long time and are not afraid of this. And I'm telling you, like, the longer you are in the space, the easier it is to just get it. Because once you live through it and you're like, oh yeah, this is the thing that just happens, it's crazy volatility, and you don't like it when it goes down, but you love it when it goes up, and it does thankfully trend up over time. But it is what it is. That's it. This is just how it goes. But take a look at this, comparing the current cycle to the last cycle. This is the chart. It's the crypto total market cap, in fact, the entire asset class. And this was shared by chart analyst Mustache with his 147,000 followers on X. And he wrote, total market cap in 2020 versus total market cap in 2024. 3 weeks later, yes, it's tough, but a breakout needs a retest before it can go higher. What is he talking about? Well, you can see the range that the crypto total market cap was in back in 2020, and then it broke above this particular trend line that he drew right here. And so that would have been, when was it? So it would have been 2019 when it hit this particular level, July, something like that. It's hard to tell what month it is based on how zoomed out this is. I don't know if that's September or so, somewhere there, about a little over a year later. But anyway, the point is it broke above that key level that it had bounced up against before, broke out, but then as frequently happens, and look, I'm not a chart guy, but I do know this, once you break above a key level that's resistance very frequently, you're going to come back down, slam back down, and then test what was resistance to confirm it as support. And so in 2020, that's what happened here. And it was very volatile. I lived through this. And hell, I remember when XRP dropped down to 10 cents. And this is coming free, and I didn't sell there either. That was a result of the pandemic. The stock market was tanking. It was the end of the world, right? It was way more bloody than this percentage-wise. My God. And mind you, I started after the bubble burst, the XRP bubble burst in early 2018 and hit its all-time high. I waited until the price dropped a lot, and then I started dollar cost averaging in at 55 cents. So that means that the XRP I bought at 55 cents had lost almost all of its value because XRP dropped down to 10 cents. Do you think I was freaking out then? No, I was running this. You can listen to my videos back then. I was talking about how I was buying. I bought XRP, the lowest I ever bought it, and it was in March of 2020 at 15 cents. It's conceptually similar here. That was way more severe. But like the more stuff you go through, the more like, yeah, it doesn't matter. This is just what happens. And it's the same humans with the same DNA making the same piss poor decisions in the stock market too. It's just less volatile. So, fewer people getting wrecked to such severe degrees, but it's doing the same thing. It's just a question of to what degree. But anyway, so look at that. Broke out, tested what was resistance as support. It went to the upside. Same thing here right now. Saying we just broke above that and coming back down to test it. Okay, that stuff happens all the time. It doesn't mean it's time to panic. Everything's fine. XRP is not going anywhere, okay? And so, yes, it would be disappointing if we had to wait another few years for this to happen, but I don't believe we're in a bear market. But you should, to me, you should find peace in that because XRP is not going away no matter how long it takes. Unless it stops being functionally useful, it's going to keep thriving. There's a reason that it's been in the top 10 coins by market cap its entire existence. I just don't see it. I don't see a good reason to worry. As somebody that's never sold a single XRP in over 7 years, I just don't see it. It doesn't make logical sense. I understand why humans are responding this way, and it's very normal. But it's going to ruin your day and cause high levels of stress. So just look at it from a historical perspective, let this all sink in, and everything's fine. It's not a big deal. And even if XRP does go lower, so what? It's going to go up. Think about where it was in the beginning of November, 49 cents. You would have been thrilled 6 weeks ago to know that XRP would be priced where it is right now. Here's a post on December 19th, literally yesterday afternoon, 12:26 p.m. From Charting Guy. He said, capitulation, because yesterday was obviously bloody too. He said, at this rate, we could see $94,000. He's talking about Bitcoin. And now we know we went a bit lower than that, at least as of the time I'm recording this. He said, hopefully not, though. Steady, lads. I will be buying more alts tomorrow when that check hits. Nothing has changed about my overall thesis. Gotta shake the leverage and noobs out. That's all. I remain absurdly confident. And folks, that is it. It's people with leverage getting liquidated and brand new people that don't know what they're doing getting shaken out. And even if you have been here for a number of years, I'm willing to bet that some of you, and again, doesn't mean you're bad or stupid. It's not like a dig against any of you. It just means you're normal. But some of you, even if you've been here years, you're feeling scared. And unfortunately, that's normal. But see, that's the thing. That's why most people can't handle this. It doesn't mean that you necessarily can't. I'm just trying to highlight the degree to which it's normal. So you don't have to be furious at yourself for being weak or something like that. But then understand it doesn't make logical sense to feel that way, ideally, right? And just make your own decision about what you want to do. But man, it doesn't make sense to be afraid here. And so anyway, he reposted that, and then he said, $94,000 check, buying alts today. Sheesh, what a liquidation. And I've seen that from tons of analysts as I was scrolling through my X feed before recording this. Tons of analysts are snatching up these lows. And they understand that they can't necessarily find the bottom, but they're still doing it. In fact, here's a post from Altcoin Xrp, a very popular analyst, 234,000 followers on X. He's been around forever. It's a Bitcoin USD chart. He said, we're getting close. And this is at 4:19 a.m. this morning, by the way. We're getting close. I think that Bitcoin should be finding a relative bottom very shortly, expecting a bit more downside and then some sort of reversal. Not sure if this is the bottom, but yeah, let's see. And so look, you'll find this. Check any analyst that's been here for the last several years, anywhere from that to 10 years. They are not sweating this. Nobody is. And I'm not either because I know that it doesn't matter. Look, XRP's even back up now. Look at this, $2.11. There you go. I bet you're feeling better. Pennies up. I mean, I'm still excited. My excitement is not dissipating just because we had a dip yesterday and today. The opportunity is at hand, and I'm going to continue to do precisely nothing. I'm just going to wait until I'm sufficiently enticed to sell, and then I'll sell. In the meantime, I do nothing, and it doesn't matter, and this is a fun ride. That's what I think anyway. So quit freaking out, and everything's fine. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.